A big thank you to my fantastic co-host, Mr. Barry Moses, the main man. Of course, we do have the lovely Hilda Wadivi and Kala Mival, who are part of the Breakfast Club. Of course, if you do also want to get in touch with us on our social media handles, we are Y254 TV on Instagram, as well as Facebook, and Y254 channel on Twitter. Of course, this being a Tuesday, what we do every Tuesday is to actually get into an entrepreneurship and career talk. We absolutely love to give you ideas on how you can get, attain that financial freedom and get on that road to just success, and of course, how to get some money. But money aside, today we actually do want to throw the idea of volunteerism your way. And when we talk about being a volunteer, the first question that definitely comes to mind is, how can my services, or what are my talents, and where would they be suited best? Well, today we are actually happy to speak to the Peace Ambassadors Kenya, whose objective is to establish peace clubs in institutions of higher learning, promoting non-violence. So they're here in studio with us to talk to us about peace building and youth volunteerism. And I'd like to welcome James Nandi, who is the Deputy County Commissioner of Nyeri. And we also do have Joy Ngare, who is Miss Peace Ambassador Kenya. And we also do have Samuel Kairuta, who is the Executive Director of Peace Ambassadors Integration Organization. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
First of all, Joy, can I just first start by saying I love your makeup?
Thank you.
You're looking very pretty today. Okay.
Is my makeup artist.
Okay, nice. Oh, I like that. Oh, well done. Karibu. Okay, so how about we start off with you, Samuel. Maybe you can actually tell us who PAC is or are.
Okay, thank you so much for that question, and thank you for having us here today. So Peace Ambassadors Kenya is a national peace building and youth empowerment organization that was started way back in 2012.
Yeah.
And our core mandate, as an organization is to create, a platform, where we can be able to engage young people in matters to do with peace building in this country, and also finding ways in which we can be able to empower them in terms of skills. So the idea started after we noticed that for a long time, young people, especially people in universities and colleges, were being they had developed this culture of violence, solving issues violently, and this one would always lead to skirmishes and crashes within institutions of higher learning, where we would have young people being aggressive and expressing themselves violently, and this would lead to loss of life at some time, and destruction of property, and sometimes even altercations with the communities allowed there, and the police would also come in, and then it would become even more violent. So we thought, as young people, what can we do to change this culture of violence? So we sat together and we approached the Kenya Administration Police Service, and they were agreed to be our partners, to create a platform whereby us as young people, we can be able to talk about matters and discuss our matters in a more non-violent way, instead of being destructive. And that is how the idea started in 2012. And since then we started with two institutions of higher learning, that was Masinde Muliro University and Moi University, only 18 members, and 5 years down the line the organization has grown to become a model peace building initiative, and also a community policing initiative with so many young volunteers in this country. Thank you.
Okay, James, now that he's told us about who you guys are as an organization, do you feel that this concept of promoting peace is actually kicking on well? Because still we have this issue.
Yeah, what I would like to say is that Peace Ambassador is a platform, just like my friend has said. And when youths are given an opportunity to showcase what they can be able to do in the community, it actually reduces the tendency of youths being involved in such activities.
So it's effective.
Very,
are you
very
seeing like a shift in?
Personally, I've witnessed it, and it's very positive.
Would you, in your opinion, actually talk about how it has reduced?
Yeah, I will talk about an example of where we do go to the community directly, and we inculcate. I'll give an example of when we went to Samburu. We had a peace walk from Mararal to Baragoi, and all along the way we were walking along the wilderness, and when we were walking through this wilderness, we could interact with the community, and the community would always talk freely with us. We know this is not the government. No, these are just like any other person. That's just like any other citizen. Now we were talking openly. They were always giving these issues and what they go through in the community, and what makes them do these get engaged in these fightings. So in such cases, this is when now Peace Ambassadors Kenya comes to realize there's so many other issues that we can now address as youths, rather than just looking at these other things like politicians and all of those other things. But there are other in-depth things that make people go to fighting.
Okay. All right. And so why don't we just get into that a little bit? How about you? I don't know if at this point maybe Joy, you can actually add to this, but actually sharing case studies with us and even tell us what are some of these issues, because people just always associate young people being violent only because of politics. And that you are the tool being used, you know. Yeah, go ahead.
The question directed to Nandi, whether this peace ambassador thing is working. It's really working. For example, in our school about 2 years ago, there was a lot of violence due to there was these annual elections to elect student leaders and everything. And a group of students felt that the elections were not fair, so they went and petitioned. But their petition was rejected. So they resulted into violence. They started the strike, a lot of throwing of stones. It was so chaotic that they even burnt the bus. So many things happened, and the police had to come in and try to cool things off. In the long run, it also created some bad blood, or some rubbing shoulders with the community, and the community, for some reason, they did not want us to be around there because we are disrupting their peace. These are youths in the university, and Peace Ambassadors Kenya really played a great role in trying to cool things down. We devised ways in how to express ourselves violently, and it's working. And it's very nice, but violence is really something that youths are usually used as tools, because most of us are jobless, and because you're jobless, then you get this opportunity, then you're told you have to go somewhere, throw stones and get paid. Why not?
So there's money behind it.
There's money behind it.
Are we confirming that there's cash behind it?
Yeah, there is money. You know, I try to look at it, you know, in a different way. And I always say that one of the hardest, you know, thing for a young person to do in Kenya and even in Africa is to become an adult. You know, it's a journey. You know, it's a journey. Even before you are born, you have to survive child mortality. Once you're born, then it's a struggle for you to get an education. Once you get the education, it's a struggle to get employment. Once you get employment, it's a struggle to start a family. Once you start a family, they want you to have kids. That's another struggle. Once you do that one, you also struggle to get into, you know, the community leadership. So young people are battling, you know, I call it in a state of waiting. You know? And for young people, they have one choice. What can I do, you know, as a young person, you know, to arrive there earlier than late? And so in most cases, you know, they tend to go for negative things, or go for crime, or go for drugs once.
Because it's a chap thing.
So for us, we're coming in a different platform. We're telling them, you know, is there an opportunity for you to arrive there, but doing, you know, in a different, you know, in a different way. So we're giving now them opportunities, you know, because every young person has a dream, and they have, you know, talents, you know, and the skills that they can be able to do that one. They're only looking for an opportunity and a platform. And that is what we want to do.
I want to talk about the negative effects of what this violence has done to young people, and the way we have been branded as chaotic, as, you know, uncontrollable. Can you talk to the audience, James, right now, about what this violence is actually doing to you as a student, as a young person, when you decide to get involved in it?
But one of the baddest things that I usually say about violence is like it taints your picture. Apparently, youths are known to be violent because they're always wanting something to come the pap. You know, you are known to be the pap generation. So if at all you don't get satisfied pap, then you decide to go another way. You go for the shortcuts. So apparently, youths are now known to be be those people. Now that is why actually nowadays getting into leadership as a youth is a very big tussle, because you have to prove that you're capable of leading. But if at all you can't prove it, then it becomes a big challenge for even other youths. And you know, once one youth works does bad thing, the other one will also be seen in the same light. So it's a very bad.
It's very bad.
Yeah.
Joy, what do you think about this? Because even in terms of trying to jump into the job market, we've seen some universities even labeled as no-go zones in terms of, you know, employee material, if I can put it that way, because they're just known to be violent. What do you have to say about that?
Violence is really painting a bad picture on young people.
Yeah.
And if we could really, as an individual, you choose not to be violent. You choose, if it starts with you and starts with another person and another person, how many people will be left in the field fighting? How many people will be left in the field being called violent? We should be struggling not to let occasions of violence happen each and every day, each and every year. That a problem has come up, but the only way people can solve issues is by violence.
Yeah,
that should stop.
Okay.
And it is really causing a lot of havoc in us, and it is making it's even hard for us to get into the job market in some universities.
It's true. It's very true, and I've seen that where they're like, so and so is from this university. No, absolutely not. Okay, so let's talk about your peace building initiatives. Sam, would you like to lead us in that and tell us what's been going on with PAC?
Okay, so as you know, organization, we've chosen different mechanisms in which we can do peace building, because when people hear about peace building, it becomes a very abstract kind of thing. So we want to make it more concrete, more fun, for young people to
attractive,
be engaged, and very attractive. So for us, what we've done, we've tried to really package it, and we ask ourselves, I don't have to be a student, of conflict management or peace building for me to be a peace builder. In each and everything that you are doing, there's an opportunity for you to become a peace builder. So what we've tried to do is to see how we can be able to apply the different skills and the education background that these young people are learning, to apply themselves into the community. And when I'm doing my own career, whether I'm a journalist, how can I promote peace building, being a journalist?
Oh wow.
And we picked different thematic areas we've done. One of the examples that we have is on education.
Okay.
And we've tried we have a project, it's called the Mentor Mentee Project, where we do mentorship. And what we've done, we picked young guys from universities and identified some of the schools that are in conflict-prone areas. I'll give you an example. One is in West Pokot.
Yes.
Another one is in Barigo. We have a school also in Lamu, where we have these issues to do with the organization. And we pick these young people, in universities, and they come into this project as our mentors. We pair them up with students from these institutions, and they become their big brothers and their big sisters.
That's great.
So as a young person who is volunteering at that point, I'm able to assert myself and mold someone's life, and also be able to get an exposure and see different areas in this country and the strategies that people are coming.
And then even introduce that idea of peace and telling them, I know your community is going through such and such, but even as you're mentoring them, you tell them violence is not the way forward.
It's not the way.
Okay, I love it. There's this perception, by the way, that people who are volunteers hawana kitu ingine ya kufanya. But no pun intended, but in other words, volunteers are the jobless people in Kenya. That's what a lot of guys think, and I know maybe you might take that to offense, but there's that general idea. Joy, what do you have to say about that? That volunteerism is just for I'm in between high school and campo. I don't have anything else to do. Let me just go and join peace ambassadors.
Okay, that is not true. That is totally not true. All of us seated here, we have things we're doing. We have jobs. And volunteering is you have to push your time. You have to plan yourself on time for PAC, time for work, time for family. We all have things we do.
Right.
You're the deputy county commissioner of Nyeri County.
Yeah, wow, that's a big role.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And he still creates time to be with us. And in events, we have events almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And he still creates time for us. Personally, I do a lot of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
I make maths. I do so many things.
Yeah, you've got the whole artsy thing going on.
I do so many things, and I have to create time.
Right.
It is not that volunteering is for people who do not have something to do. We have something to do, and in this case, we are built. Personally, Park has really built me, and I've been here not for very long, but it has really made a great impact in my life.
Right.
It has created a change in me that would have happened within 5 years.
Yes.
But it had happened between few months.
I love that. I love that. I know we don't have too much time because my director tells me we've got like 10 minutes or so. But James, tell me about what volunteer work actually does to an individual. Let's build on that. There's something about giving back that changes you. And you know, because every Tuesday we always talk about money. But today, let's see how we can grow in other ways.
Yeah. Apparently it's very true. Nowadays youths are always just after money. And if at all anything doesn't have money, then you just shut off. Okay, what I usually want to say is that volunteering is also a matter of coming from the heart. You know, when you're coming to Park, we are always asking you, why are you coming there? You know, we want to touch lives, we want to make change, we want to be the change in the society, we want to bring that positive aspect about the youth, rather than just being seen in the negative picture, or rather light. We want also to see what we can do to impact change in the society. I would like to also echo what my sisters said about being partly involved in Park. You know, when you are just there and you see some evils happening in the society, you are always very ready to point a finger. But what we want to do in Park is like to bring that culture of what can I do personally, and that is why we have that motto in our logo. Like it is where it begins with me. In every T-shirt we have, it has that aspect. It begins with me. So if at all there's that negative aspect in the society, if there is corruption, if there is a theft, if there is anything like a rape, what can you do as a youth to bring out that thing from the society? How can you change it?
I like it. Okay, so now that you've talked about you guys being a volunteer-based organization, how do you go about financing your projects? Let's say, for example, you talked about going to West Pokot. How are you able to actually gather up a budget of the funds for it?
So we have devised various mechanisms that we are using as an organization, and one of them, you know, as an organization, we believe that you don't have to be, you know, a billionaire, you know, or a president for you to create change in the society. We believe that there is power in numbers. So we want to do more with little. So as an organization, the first source of revenue is from our own contributions. You know? So it's very amazing, you know, to see young people, you know, who are able to contribute, you know, their own money,
sacrifice,
and you know, maybe like just last week we had some of the young people who had gone all the way to Lamu, you know, to go and do mentorship, and they've gone into their pockets, and you know, they're able to contribute. So that is one of the mechanisms that we use. The next thing is about partnership, because you know, we are not working, you know, in silos. You know, we also want to work in partnership with other organizations, and I want to really appreciate one of our biggest partner, which is our partner organization, and that is the Kenya Administration Police Service, because they've given us, you know, an opportunity, you know, to use their, you know, they've given us logistical support. When it comes to transport, we'll be able to avail their vehicles, and
that's
great. And they'll be able to facilitate, and also other organizations, you know, that we're able to partner with. They've been very, you know, supportive.
And you see, this is the side that people don't see about APs. This is the side that we never see about our administration police. You just see them with rungos and clobbering guys here at the university. But I mean, this is great. It's fantastic, guys. Okay, so even as we wind up, and you've told us about how, you know, you're trying to create partnerships, and you know, it starts from us also contributing. Why don't you speak to the youth who are out there, who are watching, and by the way, also feel that, you know what, I could actually give back to society through becoming a peace ambassador? Who would like to take that one? And look at Joy. Ladies first. Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, for the youth out there watching, I would like to tell you that volunteer work is very amazing, and it builds you in a way that you cannot be able to get that from school. You cannot be able to get that from work. But all this that you're doing here, involving in community activities and all that, putting yourself kubeba mzigo ya community.
Yes.
Yani it's very important, and it does great things to you, and it makes you even mature to levels that you cannot even think about.
That is so true.
And everything generally, it makes who you are.
Okay. All right. So how can they reach you finally, James?
Okay, I will talk about one thing just to add about what my sister said.
Yes.
Apparently, what I usually tell the youths nowadays is that when you go for job interviews and then you're asking for a job, usually you're asked about, I mean, I usually say, if I told you are now unemployed and then you're looking for a job, usually it's a matter of two things. Either you know someone or how deep your pocket is.
Exactly.
That is the issue. But nowadays, Park is now bringing us together. Now we're becoming a family, and Park is now like a platform where you can even network. You know, you get jobs, you get people who know something. Now that is how Park brings support. Now, how we can get to Peace Ambassadors Kenya? We have a portal, the www.pambio.org. We also have a Facebook page that is Peace Ambassadors Kenya. Twitter, that is Peace Amps Kenya, at Peace Amps Kenya. On Instagram is Peace Ambassadors Kenya also.
Okay, so it's pretty easy to find.
Very easy.
And you guys, your response time is
We are
have so many people who are very much willing to volunteer and just respond to you.
That's great. Well, guys, I want to say congratulations for making it this far. I mean, well done. Of course, Y254 is all about the youth, and so anything that can actually build young people out there, we definitely want to hear about it. Please come back to studio next time. Tell us more about how you guys are doing, okay? And we'll be sure to actually let you know once we get some responses.
And Shiko, before we come back to the studio, we want to welcome you to Mau. Next week, but one we are going to Mau and going to plant over 10,000 tree seedlings in Mau. We want to restore Mau forest, so you're welcome to join us.
That's fantastic. And can you own a tree? Like, this is my tree.
We have an area that is known as Peace Ambassadors Kenya. That is just for us in Mau.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna ask you guys to send us some of the artwork and whatever you have, promotional material, and we'll keep sharing it with guys on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go plant some trees.
Thank you.
All right, so we've got a text message here that's coming from Harriet, who says a big thank you to Park. She says that you have inspired her. We have a text message here that's coming from Eugene, who says he will be sure to sign up. Where can I find you on social media? But I think, Eugene, you've just had a response from the team here in studio. But that being said, we really do want to encourage you to actually look at the other side of life. It's not just always about money, and so today we decided to actually focus on volunteer work. Can you do something to contribute to your community? Well, this is a great chance, like they say, to network, give back, and they've got lots of projects coming up. We've just talked about tree planting coming up in next week, but what's the date?
Date 14th.
14th.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So on the 14th, keep your eyes open for that, because the Peace Ambassadors Kenya is gonna be doing something great in Mau. But that being said, can I say a big thank you to James Nandi, who is the Deputy County Commissioner in Nyeri. We also do have Joy Ngare, who is Miss Park. We also do have Samuel Kairuta, the Executive Director of Peace Ambassadors Integration Organization. You can catch a rerun of this particular interview on our YouTube channel as Y254 TV, and continue to interact with us through that SMS number, which is 22162. On behalf of the Breakfast Club right here at Y254, my name is Shiko Kaitani, saying have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.